Examples of accelerated growth. How do plants grow? Do you think this growth is normal? The fastest construction in the world is in China. Skyscrapers are built in a very short time. Months of preparation, engineers and architects working, planning. The labor of hundreds of workers, giant construction machines, and it was finished in 15 days and 360 hours. In a construction, there are bricks that make up the wall. In a plant and other living things, the smallest particle of life is the cell. The cell is a marvelous structure whose mystery still isn't completely solved. Now we are going to this mysterious world where unimaginable things happen. Can we see a plant cell with the naked eye? We can't. You need a microscope. The size of a plant cell is between 10 and 30 micrometers. But if 50 cells come side by side, then we can see them. 50 of them lined up side by side would come to about 1 millimeter. We can see 1 millimeter. Now, let's make an analogy. Let's remember the film Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. In the film, there is an interesting factory owned by Willy Wonka. In this imaginary factory, there are rivers of chocolate.
Every drop of the river is hot melted chocolate of the finest quality.
Sweets that decorate children's dreams are produced. So which workers produce all of this? These are the Oompa Loompas, the tiny workers of the factory. They are all identical dwarf workers. Willy Wonka invited them from an unknown part of the world. They are paid in cocoa. They are behind every kind of production. This is a mysterious factory that can only be seen in dreams. Now let's leave this imaginary world and travel to the real world, to this cell. Each cell is a magical world, just like in the film. This is a plant cell. The brain of the cell is the nucleus. The cell's life program is stored here in the form of DNA. The software for everything is here. Ribosomes are produced in the nucleus. After the ribosomes leave the nucleus, they turn into a factory that produces and synthesizes proteins. Inside the cell, they synthesize what humans cannot accomplish in laboratories. There is the endoplasmic reticulum, like a cargo service. It is programmed to transport and distribute what is produced in the cell. There is the Golgi apparatus. It makes proteins synthesized and modified within the cell ready for use. Mitochondria, the energy production center. It's like a power station. There are chlorophylls which give plants their green color and convert light energy into chemical energy. Chlorophylls are produced and stored under the influence of genes and light. In chloroplasts, sugars, fats, proteins, and vitamins necessary for the cell are produced from this energy. Vacuole, the cavity, the mechanism that regulates the internal pressure and volume of the cell. It keeps the internal environment of the cell clean and organized. Accumulated wastes are taken into the vacuole. Inside this cell, there are other organelles that perform different functions as well. How do plants grow? In all kinds of living organisms, humans, animals, and plants, growth takes place through mitosis. What does mitosis look like? A plastic Lego. I want to create a second one. A third one. I want to stack them on top of each other. I can either buy similar ones or produce them with a 3D printer. The magic that I can't do is happening every moment in plants. That is a plant cell. Another one, and another one. In fact, a miracle is happening right in front of my eyes. But I am used to treating this marvelous event as a normal, simple thing. Every cell is a living mechanism. How long does it take for a plant cell to divide and form another one? So if this is one cell, it takes about 25 hours for the second one to form. This time varies from plant to plant, but this is the average. 23 hours of this time is spent in preparation for division. Growth preparation phase is called the interphase period. During the interphase period, the cell grows fatter. Interphase takes place in 3 stages. G1. In this phase, the cell not only continues its routine life, but also fattens and gains weight with the increase in cytoplasm. A copy of the software, i.e. DNA and organelles, that it had in the S period is formed. In G2, proteins necessary for division are produced. In other words, the foundations of cell construction are laid. Mitosis is next. Mitosis is short. It only takes an hour or two. Without mitosis, not a single plant would grow on Earth. No living thing would develop. The secret life is hidden in mitosis. It has 4 phases. Prophase. The structure formed by DNA with proteins becomes denser, shorter, and thicker. X-shaped chromosomes are formed, which can be seen under a microscope. Sibling and identical DNA pairs are formed. Identical DNA pairs are oriented towards the poles. Spindle fibers are created to hold the chromosomes and guide them. The nucleus disappears. Metaphase. The fibers cause the chromosomes to line up in a single row in the center of the cell. Anaphase. Chromosomes are the organized and packed version of DNA. The chromatid pairs are attracted to opposite poles by the fibers. A duplicate of each chromosome can be found in the child cells. In telophase, a new cell membrane forms around the chromosome pairs. The chromosomes separate from the cytoplasm. A new nucleus is created in each child cell. The walls of the new cells are built with the help of the Golgi apparatus. And thus, genetically similar cells are formed by mitosis, creating a cell. This is a lifeless and dead brick. Is it right to compare a living cell with such a brick? Cells are alive. Scientists cannot produce a living cell, but we can manufacture a cell from plastic in a 3D printer. We first design it on the computer. We write the volume dimensions of each organelle in the cell. We place the raw materials and color coils close to which colors are in our project, which organ is which color. And we switch on the printer. And we manage to make a plastic model. In every plant, live versions of this model are created every moment. What's the most important thing? The most important thing is that the Oompa Loompas from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory are not in the cell. New and different creations are taking place every second of every moment. Without the combination of knowledge, intellect, and power, the second one of this Lego cannot be created. Even if trillions of years pass, if there is no purpose, the second one will not come into being. Those who see these constructions say how skillful the Chinese are. Those who look at this think, what a marvelous printer. What do people say when they see these? What beautiful craftsmanship. How cute these wooden flowers are. But when it comes to the miraculous growth of living creatures and plants, people become blind. Some people can ignore the miracles that take place in front of their eyes.